Hey, listen to me. If you are looking for a good Torah podcast that isn't super boring, do not skip this. This is for you. Trust me. Okay. Unless you want to listen to a boring Bible teaching that you'll probably pick up like 5 words from, wasted 2 hours. Yeah. Seriously. We deliver Bible teachings that are fun and engaging, and you still get the meat and potatoes. Yeah, we've been Torah observant for 10 years. Look, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It means the world to me. Today we're continuing in Kings, because we're doing the whole King Solomon series. Okay, if you haven't seen the first part of this, please go back. Yeah, because, there's a lot. This has been a lot of work. I really value, and I want to just give a shout out to everybody who's listening. Thank you for listening. You were awesome.
And also, I had a thought of a project. There's no Kickstarters or anything on this, so don't look it up. But I want to make a movie about an autistic Torah observant family. I don't think that's a thing, and I feel like it would be like a really fun show. Yeah, I haven't started a Kickstarter or anything for that. That's for another story, but I really think that would be a good show. Like movie or show, whatever we decide to turn it into. Think about it. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. Be fun. Really fun. I really want it. I really want to do that. Because, there's a lot of families like that out there, and I feel like a lot of people could relate to that. Autistic Torah observant families. It would be a fun show. It really would. Yeah. Really would. So, yeah. Tell me if you're interested in that. So, today I'm interviewing my mom, Miss Jontel. She has a really good Morris Shalomstead TikTok. We'll be talking to her a little bit about that, and we'll be diving into King Solomon's story in Kings chapter 8. Hopefully get through 9. We're making really slow progress. Without further ado, I give you my mom, also known as Miss Jontel Morris. And just to let you know before we start, I wanted to say that we are doing 1 episode a week instead of 2 episodes a week. We'll probably adjust back up later, but for now, that's what we can manage, just so you know. Bye. Bye. I meant on with the show. Yeah. Hello, Mom. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm really excited, sweetheart.
Oh, well, before we start, you've been on this podcast. This is the 3rd episode you've been on, and I'm really thankful. So I just wanted to give you a favor back. Tell us on More Shalomstead, your TikTok account, what you're posting, what your goal is, and what you want to put out in the content community.
Yeah, sure. I have a TikTok page called Morris Shalomstead where I share homesteading, cultivating family, and also meal planning. And yeah, that's kind of my hope, is that I just reach an audience where I share what I've learned in meal planning, and just the beauties and joy that Yehovah has placed in our life through this journey of cultivating the land and being agriculturally minded, and just what a joy it is to our family culture.
Yeah, well, where can we find you?
TikTok, More Shalomstead.
Okay. So, anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I'm really excited to see what you've put together.
Okay, one thing. I'm really sad because I was working on my bullet points and I had 4 chapters worth of study. And then I was walking outside one day, and for some reason on the ground I found them all erased by the water.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. But, so, we're just going to free it. I think I'll probably remember the most important parts. Yeah, so, one thing before we get started, I just wanted to say, I was listening to Little Night Studios. They had this thing on the Hunger Games, but I thought it was really interesting because they said it's 12 districts and there's 12 tribes of Israel. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
I wonder what correlations they see there outside of just
Yeah, I mean,
the number 12.
Yeah, I mean, I just, like, Little Light Studios does have, like, push agenda, just, like, everything in Hollywood's awful, but, I mean, some of their stuff's, like, pretty, has some truth to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you want to read? Or?
Yeah, sure. What chapters are we working on today?
Chapter 8, I believe.
Okay. So am I reading all of chapter 8 all at once?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Okay.
Then Shlomo assembled all the leaders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes and the chiefs of the paternal clans of the people of Israel to King Shlomo in Jerusalem to bring the Ark of the Covenant of Adonai out of the city of David, also known as Zion. All the men of Israel assembled before King Shlomo, and that is King Solomon.
King Solomon.
Yep, at the festival in the month of Etanim, the 7th month. All the leaders of Israel came. The Kohanim took the ark and brought up the ark of Adonai, the tent of meeting, and all the holy utensils that were in the tent. These are what the Kohanim and the Leviim brought up. King Shlomo and the whole community of Israel assembled in his presence were with him in front of the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen in numbers beyond counting or recording. The Kohanim brought the ark for the covenant of Adonai into its place inside the sanctuary of the house, to the especially holy place, under the wings of the Keruvim.
Wait. Is this the super long chapter? Is it the 66 verse one? Oh, yeah, it is.
It is, yes.
Oof. Okay, let's just see how much we can get through. This might be the only one we can do today.
For the Keruvim spread out their wings over the place for the ark, covering the ark and its poles from above. The poles were so long that their ends could be seen from the holy place in front of the sanctuary, but they could not be seen from outside. They are there to this day. There was nothing in the ark except the 2 tablets of stone which Moshe put there in Horeb when Adonai made the covenant with the people of Israel at the time of their leaving the land of Egypt. When the Kohanim came out of the holy place, the cloud filled the house of Adonai, so that, because of the cloud, the Kohanim could not stand up to perform their service, for the glory of Adonai filled the house of Adonai. Shlomo said, Adonai said he would live in thick darkness, but I have built you a magnificent house, a place where you can live forever. Then the king turned around and blessed the whole community of Israel. The whole community of Israel stood as he said, Blessed be Adonai, the God of Israel, who spoke to my father David with his mouth and fulfilled his promise with his hand. He said, Since the day I brought my people Israel out of Egypt, I chose no city from any of the tribes of Israel in which to build a house, so that my name might be there. But I did choose David to be over my people Israel. Now it was in the heart of David, my father, to build a house for the name of Adonai, the God of Israel. But Adonai said to David, my father, although it was in your heart to build a house for my name, and you did well that it was in your heart, nevertheless you will not build the house. Rather, you will father a son, and it will be he who will build the house for my name. Now, Adonai has fulfilled this spoken word of his, for I have succeeded my father and sit on the throne of Israel, as Adonai promised, and I have built the house for the name of Adonai, the God of Israel. And there I have made a place for the ark containing the covenant of Adonai, which he made with our ancestors when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. Then Shlomo stood before the altar of Adonai in the presence of the whole community of Israel, spread out his hands toward heaven, and said, Adonai, God of Israel, there is no God like you in heaven above or on earth below. You keep covenant with your servants and show them grace, provided they live in your presence with all their heart. You have kept your promise to your servant David, my father. You spoke with your mouth and fulfilled it with your hands, so it is today. Now, therefore, Adonai, God of Israel, keep what you promised to your servant David, my father, when you said, You will never lack a man in my presence to sit on the throne of Israel. If only your children are careful about what they do, so that they live in my presence, just as you have lived in my presence. Now, therefore, God of Israel, please let your word which you spoke to your servant David, my father, be confirmed. But can God actually live on earth? Why, heaven itself, even the heaven of heavens, cannot contain you. So how much less this house I have built? Even so, Adonai, my God, pay attention to your servant's prayer and plea. Listen to the cry and prayer that your servant is praying before you today, that your eyes will be open toward this house night and day, toward the place concerning which you said, My name will be there. To listen to the prayer your servant will pray toward this place. Yes, listen to the plea of your servant, and also that of your people Israel when they pray toward this place, here in heaven where you live and where you hear forgive. If a person sins against a fellow member of the community and he is made to swear under oath, and he comes and swears before your altar in this house, then here in heaven act and judge your servants, condemning the wicked, so that his way of life devolves on his own head, and vindicating the one who is right, giving him what his righteousness deserves. When your people Israel sin against you, and in consequence are defeated by an enemy, then if they turn back to you, acknowledge your name, and pray and make their plea to you in this house, here in heaven forgive the sin of your people Israel, and bring them back to the land you gave to their ancestors. My goodness.
Wow. You want to stop there?
Sure.
Okay, anything interesting? Anything on your thoughts?
I kind of want to finish this prayer, but I mean, it's the entire...
It's a lot.
It's the entire chapter, but like... I just am kind of reflecting on the difference between when they built the altar and they, you know, made the appropriate sacrifices. You know.
I mean, God is like, Solomon's temple is like pretty dishonoring to God. Like we've said a lot in this podcast, right?
Right, and I see that Jehovah is honoring this heart matter.
It's heart.
Right, but again, it's just like the commands that he's given on how to build his temple and the specific sacrifices and the way the sacrifices are to be managed and maintained. And
but just like his dad, he's a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
That's why God has his approval.
David, Does it say that of Solomon?
It doesn't say that, but
you see
that he is.
Yeah, like he's definitely desiring. I mean, I kind of have to reflect on my own
God
prayers.
God granted him a wish.
Yeah.
A wish. So that means Solomon was after God's heart, although, I mean, it did very unfortunately go all very downhill from there.
Yeah, I just, it kind of makes you also reflect on your own prayers too. Like, are these prayers righteous prayers? Like, they are after his heart, and like, if Yah wants our heart more than our sacrifice, then here is exactly where that is displayed, right? Yeah. That the heart is in the right place, and he desires that so much from us. But like, again, there's like the law and the way that he asks these things to happen, and it almost seems like Solomon is relying more on his words and proclamations than of Yah's faithfulness to do what he said when we walk in obedience.
Yeah, true. Wanna keep going?
Yeah. So also, this is 41. Also, the foreigner who does not belong to your people, Israel, when he comes from a distant country because of your reputation. For they will hear of your great reputation, your mighty hand, and your outstretched arm. When he comes and prays toward this house, then hear in heaven where you live, and act in accordance with everything about which the foreigner is calling to you, so that all the peoples of the earth will know your name and fear you, as does your people Israel, so that they will know that this house which I have built bears your name. If your people go out to fight against their enemy, no matter by which way you send them, and they pray to Adonai toward the city you choose, toward the house I built for your name, then in heaven hear their prayer and plea and uphold their cause. If they sin against you, for there is no one who doesn't sin, and you are angry with them, and hand them over to the enemy, so that they carry them off captive to the land of their enemy, whether far away or nearby, then if they come to their senses in the land where they have been carried away captive, turn back and make their plea to you in the land of those who carried them off captive, saying, we sinned, we acted wrongly, we behaved wickedly. If in the land of their enemies who carried them off captive, they return to you with all their heart and being, and pray to you toward their own land, which you gave to their ancestors, toward the city you chose, and toward the house I have built for your name, then in heaven where you live, hear their prayer and plea, uphold their cause. And forgive your people who have sinned against you. Forgive their transgressions which they have committed against you. And give them compassion in the sight of their captors, so that they will show compassion toward them. For they are your people, your inheritance, whom you brought out of Egypt, out of the flames of the iron furnace. May your eyes be open to the plea of your servant, and to the plea of your people Israel, so that you will hear them whenever they cry out to you.
Ooh, that's a lot.
For you made a distinction between them and all the peoples of the earth, by making them your inheritance, as you said through Moshe your servant, when you brought out our ancestors out of Egypt, Adonai Elohim. When Shlomo had finished praying all this prayer and plea to Adonai, he got up from in front of the altar of Adonai, where he'd been kneeling with his hands spread out toward heaven, stood up, and raised his voice to bless the whole community of Israel. He said, "Blessed be Adonai, who has given rest to his people Israel. In accordance with everything he promised, not one word has failed of his good promise, which he made through Moshe his servant. May Adonai our God be with us as he was with our ancestors. May he never leave or abandon us. In this way, he will incline our hearts toward him, so that we will live according to his ways and observe his mitzvah, laws, and rulings, which he ordered our fathers to obey. May these words of mine, which I have used in my plea before Adonai, be present with Adonai, our God, day and night, so that he will uphold the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel day by day. Then all the peoples of the earth will know that Adonai is God. There is no other. So be wholehearted with Adonai our God, living by his laws and observing his mitzvah as you are doing today." Then the king, together with all Israel, offered sacrifices before Adonai. For the sacrifice of peace offerings which Shlomo offered to Adonai, he offered 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. Thus the king and all the people of Israel dedicated the house of Adonai the same day. The king consecrated the center of the courtyard in front of the house of Adonai, because he had to offer the burnt offering, the grain offering, and the fat of the peace offering there. So he did do the offerings per Torah, it sounds like. For the bronze altar before Adonai was too small to receive the burnt offering, the grain offering, and the fat of the peace offerings. So Shlomo celebrated the festival at that time. All Israel, a huge gathering that had come all the way from the entrance of Hamat to the Valley of Egypt, celebrated with him before Adonai our God for 7 days, and then for 7 more days, 14 days in all. On the 8th day he sent the people away. They blessed the king and returned to their tents full of joy and glad of heart for all goodness Adonai has shown to David his servant and to Israel his people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that he prayed this much, because and so profoundly, it sounds like he was a man after God's heart. Don't give me that.
I mean, let me, because something that's going through my mind, I don't think that this is a wrong prayer.
No, it's not.
But, I'm going to pick it apart. We have to discuss something here, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be pleading with the people? He's pleading with Yah, but he's also proclaiming Yah has fulfilled everything, and Yah is faithful. We know he will fulfill everything. And he almost, it's like, I would like to cross-reference this.
Oh.
I don't, have the ability because I didn't prepare it ahead of time. I can't just go back. But, where he's talking about, people and their captors and, the forgiveness around that. It's I wonder what the context is there, because it's almost don't forget to forgive us of these things, but it's he's already talked about in Torah, what he's lined out for. It kind of reminded me of, what is it? It's the land where people go when they accidentally killed somebody.
Oh, yeah, that would
you know
be a
what I'm
good
saying?
comedy show. Just imagine, kind of like The Good Place. They're all in a land where
No. There's a scripture in Torah that says, if you're out in a field and, the head of your axe falls off and kills somebody, it was an accident, right?
Yeah.
Then flee to this nearby city that is set apart so that the brother of this man does not seek after your blood. And then there's, supposed to be a rightful, hearing and so on and so on.
That would still be a hard thing.
It would be.
To, live there.
Yeah, it would be. But it's there's already parameters around these things, but then for some reason I'd like to do the research.
What happens when people are accidentally murdered today, do you know?
It's considered manslaughter and you serve a sentence for it. There's a difference between murder and manslaughter. And so I'm just wondering why he's adding this very specific prayer. It's almost we call it a fence, right? That's what some laws are. They're fences around Torah. It's this extra law, and it's almost he's praying these things, but wouldn't your plea be with the people?
Yeah.
To observe his rightful commandments. He says it in there, but not near as much as he pleads with Yah.
Yeah.
To fulfill his part in all of this.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, I do feel like King Solomon has been mistreating his people. This whole temple construction thing was all forced labor.
Mm.
And it's it just seems like everything he's doing is really Kingdoms were a lot different before, but I mean, still, it seems pretty ridiculous.
Well, because what is it in Kings? Doesn't like Solomon's father or Solomon's son, the people plea with him not to be as harsh of a ruler as Solomon?
Yeah. See? I mean, that gets on a little bit later. But
That's in Kings.
yeah.
Oh, this is Kings.
Yeah.
It's in second Kings, maybe?
No, it's at like chapter 13.
Oh, it's just, okay. We're
Yeah,
almost
things
there.
that the King's Kids says.
Right, I know.
My pig is bigger than my father's loin.
Right. Like, did he just say what I think he said?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot to debunk there. I mean, we're not like complete like rabbi experts, so I
No,
know.
it's a lot of speculation and just questioning.
Yeah.
Right, that's how you grow in your faith, and that's how you study scripture. As you read it, you wonder and you question. And
a lot of questions I have about the Bible. That would be actually a good series. Like the one time in Judges, there was one judge. He said, if God gives him the victory on freeing Israel, whatever comes out of his front porch, downstairs, he'll sacrifice to God. Downstairs is where they kept their animals back then.
right.
So he was supposing an animal, but his daughter came out.
His daughter, right?
And it's not even like an Abraham and Isaac thing. He just
well,
kills him.
no, she asks, and
Yeah.
he's devastated in sadness, and he reports to her, and she is submissive and says, "Let me go and into the mountains and grieve, and then I'll come back and then he fulfills his promise." I do. There are parts of scripture, and I think there's some beauty in there, right? That he
maybe the daughter was going through like awful life. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think that's like something you can say, like maybe Yah was preserving her in some way.
Yeah,
and I think it's a cultural thing too, right? Like in Western culture, it's hard for us to imagine these kinds of oaths and sacrifices.
Promises were a big deal back then, though.
They are to Yah. Oaths are a huge deal. But like we just it's hard for me to imagine. It's hard to look at that and be like, why Yah? Because you knew when he made that oath, you could have prevented his daughter from coming out, but Yah knows so much more than we do, and it could have been a lesson to him, that man, for making such an oath. And also it could have been maybe there was some horrific thing that would have happened to that woman should she have gone on. Yah knows the hairs on our head.
We just have to pray for clarification when that stuff happens.
Yeah, there are things that you can take away from it, but ultimately that's something that it is. There's things where you're like, man, they're supposed to wipe out whole countries, and it's like you see why, but in our flesh it's hard to.
I'm telling you, why does God free Israel like 3,000 times in Judges?
Oh man, well thank goodness he does, because
I mean
aren't we all spoiled Israelites,
yeah.
right? He frees us every time that we turn away.
Yeah. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. Even before Yeshua, he was already full of grace and mercy. He always makes a way for us to come back to him. He's a good father.
Yeah. Even with Samson's story. I mean, there was even a way for him to come back to God.
Mm-hmm.
He did it. You don't remember?
I'm trying to think in which way he turned from.
His hair grew in prison.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think that he turned from Yah necessarily.
Love is blind. Because, I mean...
Well, I think that's not, I guess maybe we have different perspectives of what it looks like to turn from Yah. I think he made mistakes, but King David, that would be like King David turned from Yah.
Yeah.
See, he sinned against Yah, but he didn't, ever turn from Yah. I don't know. I guess you could say he did because his heart was hardened, and he probably hid from Yah, because there are times we're walking in sin where our relationship with Yah suffers.
Yeah, in First Kings, I was thinking, it was really interesting because his son was a spoiled up brat. It's a monkey.
Who are we talking about?
In the First Kings, remember the whole throne mix up thing?
Oh, Adonijah and Solomon.
Yeah.
Is it Adonijah? Is that right?
I think it was something like that. Adonia.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
something
in
like
this.
something like that.
It's probably the difference between the CJB and other translations. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just he was always spoiled and stuff, so he never knew. But also, I was feeling you have to give King David some grace because he was literally king. It was probably hard to spend moments with his son and talk to him and have a relationship with his son.
I mean, that's a choice.
It's a choice, but I mean, if somebody was king, I mean, because if you watch the King David play, I don't know if it's a completely accurate depiction, but like, he was so tired, he had to do so much.
So again, that's a choice, right? Like every man has and woman, every mother and father has a burden of provision and work, and we have to choose what we're going to set down. And if Yah has given us children, then that is our choice. If we're going to say we're going to build this kingdom, but we're not going to take our children alongside us.
Okay,
then
maybe I was wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. It's all speculation, right? It's a debate, discussion back and forth. But I think that King David prioritized acquiring kingdoms, and didn't balance that with
actually his
okay,
son.
Yah, are you asking me to do this, or am I just like doing this?
But like, I mean, I feel like Solomon was like the only son he paid attention to, because I mean, some things that his other sons do in Samuel are pretty awful.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've just read Samuel recently.
I don't want to go too deep in it, but that one where he's like, he wants his sister to come to his bed with him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one. It's pretty awful. I
mean, so again, that's the family he cultivated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. You want to try to get into some of the next chapter?
I think that just the chapter 8 is so large, and we've actually kind of jumped all over, which has been really enjoyable in debate discussion.
Yeah. I mean, just a little bit, maybe? No? Okay.
I think chapter 9 should be another episode.
Okay, well, tomorrow next time we're attempting to record a finale.
I think you could do 9 and 10 tomorrow.
9 and 10?
Because they're both shorter chapters, but 8 was very large.
Mm-hmm. But, in a few days, we want to really, try to record the finale.
Okay, cool.
Finale. I mean, I don't know how far we'll get. Hopefully we'll get through it. Yeah. Well, it's a pretty short episode today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We could not succeed without everybody that's listening. Yeah. Please make sure to check out more Shalom Stead on TikTok.
Thank you.
And
it's really fun to have these discussions with you.
It is, and I hope you can continue.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Everybody, thank you a lot for listening to Bible But Not Boring, King Solomon Part 5. Thank you. We cannot succeed without you. Thank you so much, everybody, for everyone who's listened. Bye. See you next time.